Father David here. One of the oldest tricks in religious talk is to cherry pick a piece of scripture and then give it a meaning that has absolutely nothing to do with its original context or its intended meaning. And lately, in these days of Trump, it comes from his supporters quoting Jesus as saying, "Render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's." And folks are using that to say, don't talk about politics. Let the politicians do what they want. That's got nothing to do with your faith. Well, I'm sorry to say, but you've got it completely wrong. First, what's the context for that saying? Jesus was being set up by a group of religious big shots who wanted to trap him. Remember, in those days, Rome colonized Israel, and they imposed huge taxes on the people. So to ask Jesus, is it lawful to pay taxes, is to say, are you going to side with Rome and therefore take the risk of enraging the local people who are being destroyed by these taxes, running away from you? Or are you going to say, don't pay the tax, so then we can report you to Pilate as an insurrectionist, a lawbreaker? Instead, Jesus did what Jesus does. He asked them for a coin, and lo and behold, one of those high and mighty have a Roman coin in their pocket, which, by the way, violates the commandment against keeping graven images, because the portrait of Tiberius Caesar was on that coin. And they showed it to him. And having already hoisted them on that petard, that is when Jesus gives the now famous quote of give to Caesar and give to God. But what is he talking about? He's saying that coin bears the image of Caesar. So give him the things that carry his image, his coins. But who bears the image of God? Every single person listening to him speak. And that is the obligation that we owe to God, that every moment of our life is devoted to the love that we are commanded to live out to all people, especially to the least and the lost and the left behind. That God demands all from us. And some of you say, oh, well, that applies just to our spiritual lives. My friends, that is a heresy. The whole point of the incarnation is that Jesus destroyed the separation between the sacred and the profane, this life and the next, the holy and the ordinary. They are no longer separated. Kahil Gibran, the wonderful Lebanese poet, had this to say when an old priest asked him to speak about religion, and I quote just a brief portion of this. Have I spoken this day of anything else? Is not religion all deed and all reflection? And that which is neither deed nor reflection, but a wonder and a surprise, ever springing in the soul, even while the hand hews the stone or tends the loom. Who can separate his faith from his actions, or his belief from his occupations? Who can spread his hours before him, saying, this for God, and this for myself, this for my soul, and this other for my body? He who wears his morality but as his best garment were better off naked. We owe all that we are to God and to each other. And when an administration decides to attack the most vulnerable among us, to despise those who are different, Christians have an obligation to stand up and speak out. God bless us all.